Hi, this is Monty from Mopar Vehicles, and here's another one of our detailed vehicle appraisals on a car that's just recently come into us. This is our 2012 Jaguar XF 2.2 Portfolio, so top of the range car. It's got full service history with Jaguar, so 6 service stamps. The car has covered about just over 103,000 miles at the moment. And to be fair, that's probably going to go up fractionally because we'll probably be using the car over the next sort of couple of weeks, that type of thing. The reason we're going to be using the car is we tend to drive all of our vehicles. We tend to put about 400 or 500 miles on them just to make sure they're okay. So I'm going to briefly walk around the car and then give you a more detailed view very shortly and tell you why we tend to do these videos. Well, it's all about trust, honesty, integrity. We try and tell you exactly how it is. So whether you are, I don't know, a few hundred yards away from where we are or a couple of 100 miles away, when you come to view the vehicle, it should be as close to as I've described in this video. We're not out here to try and get customers down for no reason whatsoever. We've all done it before. We've looked at pictures of the car, it looks absolutely stunning, and then we've got to have a look at the car, it's not really as described. So this sort of takes a lot of that kind of stigma out of it anyway. Now I'm going to hold the camera there by the number plate. If you want to know anything about the history, please feel free to give me a call. It's still got the original number plates that the car came with new, so Harwood's Group, and then after that it was serviced at HA Fox, I think from memory. Just been MOT'd, no advisories on the MOT. We've done a couple of bits and pieces to the car already in sort of preparation, and then when it leaves me today, it's going to go straight to the rest of our prep guys, more for mechanical work, because these cars are due a cam belt every 7 years or 112,000 miles. So on time, it's actually going to need a cam belt. So that's what's going to be done on the car. All right, now the other prep bits that we've done to the vehicle already, we've had the wheels refurbished. There were a couple of scuffs on the alloy wheels, and I think cars like this, they really do need to, even though the car has covered 103,500 miles, it drives really well, looks really well as well. Okay, but we just wanted to, give it that little bit of, extra, what it needs really as a Jaguar. We don't really want to display a car that's got a couple of scuffs here on the alloy wheels. We haven't touched anything up in terms of the alloy wheels, we just had them painted. Now, a couple of little things that we've added to it. We've added the grille, not that particular grille, the centre section. We've put the little red Jaguar in there, sort of try and update the car. The little red caps for the centre wheels, and then we've added the little chrome sections here on the wing vents. We just wanted to try and make it look a bit different to every other car that's out there. Now, believe it or not, you won't find many portfolios. So this is the top specification car. The colour is called Azurite Blue, and then you've got that cream contrasting trim inside the car. So a whole host of options on these cars, or a lot of standard features, anything from the kind of Alcantara suede headlining to the navigation, to the heated and cooling seats, front and rear parking sensors, reverse camera, electric memory seats on the driver's side, electric seats on the passenger side, loads and loads of stuff, DAB, the whole lot. Now, there were a couple of options on these when these were facelifted in 2011 on the 61 up until about 62. Some of the options weren't standard, so I'm going to try and tick as many boxes that I know that were standard on the car and optional extras. It sits on lovely 19-inch wheels. They were an option, and it's got Dunlop sport tyres all the way round. Okay, now I'm going to start off on the driver's side front. Now, these videos tend to take about, I don't know, 10-12 minutes. I do apologise, sometimes I do babble on a bit too much, but I just want to try and be as thorough as I possibly can. We are all human. I don't intentionally go out to miss anything. And again, please read some of my reviews on Auto Trader. They are all genuine reviews. Now, I am going to try and be quick here because it's just started to spit with rain, so I just want to be as quickly as possible. So as I mentioned, the alloy wheels have been refurbished, they're absolutely fine. The car had some brake pads and discs. I think it was sometime last year, but it hasn't done much in the terms of mileage, so they're absolutely fantastic. As I mentioned, it's just been MOT'd. There was no advisories on the MOT whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and move the camera really slowly. So we use a HD camera off a phone, just to try and give you an idea what the car looks like on the side. You know, no nasty digs, dents, things like that. We had a couple of little trolley dents, they've been addressed. But, you know, based on the age and the mileage, she's 7 years of age, 103,000 miles. It's not going to be a brand new car, guys. And I'll show you that more at the front where we touched up a few bits and pieces. Okay, hopefully, unbelievable, we haven't got many clouds in the sky, but it's started to spit with rain. Hopefully you can try and pick up some of the reflections on there. It's all really nice and bright. There's no kind of dulling of paintwork, anything like that. Now there'll be some pictures of the tyres. The tyres have got plenty of tread. You've got 2 keys with this car, all right, 2 keys. Just show you inside. So you've got that lovely cream leather interior with that contrasting blue trim around the seats. It complements the colour of the car really well as well. So steering wheel, that's a really nice dark blue to the steering wheel. So you've got all your functionality there, you know, for cruise control, for the volume, for the radio, etc. Different mode settings. You've got paddle shifts on the steering wheel, and you've got that lovely burr walnut wood trim inside. There's your navigation screen, 7-inch navigation screen. All the door panels all look really good. You've got your 2 memory functions down there for your driver's seat, folding mirrors, and you've got that lovely Bowers and Wilkins stereo system. It sounds phenomenal. Now, if you're looking for the heater vents, anyone who's looking at an XF, they know the heater vents. As soon as you put the ignition on, put the, you know, the climate control on, they spin round. Looks really, yeah, love them, absolutely love them. So I mentioned about the kind of headlining. You've got this kind of suede Alcantara headlining. It may look like there's marks on there or anything like that, but it's your hand. So if you run your fingers along them, because it's like a suede, you'll tend to get that swishy thing. Not too sure what to call it really. Okay, the gear lever pops out of the centre, but again, if you're familiar to the XFs, you know they pop out of there. Heated front screen, all that works. Lovely. Air conditioning is super ice cold. I'll show you the back of the car. Again, now, door panel here. If I took a picture from here, you'd think all is okay. There is a couple of little nicks. If I zoom right in, they're just in there. Okay? But again, come out here, you'd hardly see any of that. It's the same as, like, you know, when you look at some of my pictures. You know, as I mentioned before, we all can try and hide behind really bad pictures. We try and, you know, bring out all the best lines of a car. We don't try and take all our photographs in bright sunshine, you know, so you get loads of glare on it. Okay, hopefully you can try and pick up the seats. They're looking at really good condition. There's no kind of tearing or ripping or anything like that. Still got the original mats. So the carpet's like a very dark blue, again to match the exterior of the car, and then you've got that cream piping around the mats. Rear parking sensors I might have mentioned. You've got reverse camera there as well. You can probably just see reverse camera there. Let's just open up the boot. You've got all that kind of keyless entry. So again, if you know about the portfolio, they've got the top spec on the car. So you've got your keyless entry. One thing I have just noticed, it has actually got split folding rear seats, which was an optional extra at the time. You've also got, under here, you've got your spare wheel as well. Battery in there, other bits and pieces. Right, now I mentioned a couple of stone chips. Let me just go back round to the side, driver's side. There were a few stone chips. They were mainly around the door edges, but we've touched them all up. Apart from that, it's all fine. Round the back of the car, so bumper. Again, it's just started to spit a bit more of rain. There were a few stone chips along the edge here. They have been touched up. But again, I think most of the customers out there that know, you know, they come and have a look at a 7-year-old car that's done over 100,000 miles. It's not going to be brand new. It may be a brand new car to yourself, but to us it'll always be a 7-year-old car. So let's just go down this side as well. Hopefully you can try and pick up really good reflection. So what you're basically looking at is all that grass and these kind of poles here. Well, and I've gone over 10 minutes already. I'm going to need to zoom around this. Okay, but it's a lovely, lovely car. We don't do these videos, you know, to point out loads of negative stuff. We just want to show you how lovely the car is. You know, there are going to be a few little bits and pieces, imperfections, but again, this is the reason we tend to do these videos. We've had a few customers that have moaned that they do go on a bit too much, but you know, more information I think is the key. Instead of, you know, just walking around the car, spending a minute and a half, not really telling you much about the vehicle, especially about things like service history and what we're going to be doing to the car next. Again, if you are going to be looking at a car around this sort of age, I think just after this car, so on a 62 plate or a 13, they did change the horsepower from 190 to 200, and the timing belts on them were slightly different. They were like 10 years or 140,000 miles. But on this car, anything from facelift 61 plate to 62, what I've been informed by Jaguar is they're done every 7 years or 112,000 miles. So this one will be done water pump. There'll be all the fluids will be changed in terms of coolant will be changed, all the tensioners, and yeah, water pump as I mentioned, and of course the timing belt. They will all be done. So hopefully you can see that interior looks lovely. Let me zoom out a little bit. So if you have a look on the driver's seat there, just on the bolster on the side, you can see there's a little bit of wear, but again, it's to be understandable, especially with this cream and blue trim. So as I mentioned, it's got the Bowers & Wilkins stereo system. Another thing I'm not too sure I mentioned, you've got all these really nice door cappings on all 4 doors and the dash. So it's a really nice dark blue. Again, it complements the interior, the exterior of the car with some really nice white stitching as well. White or cream stitching, close. So let's just go down this side as well. Apologies if I've babbled on. I know for the customers who are really interested in a car like this, they'll appreciate I've spent a bit of time going over the car and just showing you what it's like. Now, there was a few little stone chips along this side, mainly on the passenger door around the edge and on the swage line around here. There was a few little stone chips and a few little touch-ups that we had to do there. Again, alloy wheels, just been refurbished, so they're like brand new. As I mentioned, plenty of tread on the tyres. Xenon headlamps, or bi-xenon headlamps, with that really nice sort of horseshoe kind of daylight running lights. That grille looks stunning on the car. So we got to the front of the vehicle. We're 13 minutes now, so apologies. I'm just going to scoot through this really quickly. Most of the stone chips were along the front edge of the bonnet. So there's a couple along here, a couple along there. I think there was about about a dozen along the leading edge of the bonnet. They have all been touched up. We've done the very best we can. And then you've got a few along the bonnet of the bumper of the car. Again, you're going to be hard to pick them up because we touched them up. So we had about I don't know, half a dozen to a dozen along the leading edge of the bonnet, and then you had a similar amount along the bumper itself. So all around here there's a few little stone chips, but again, you can expect that. You know, if that was brand spanking new and had no stone chips, you know that bumper's been painted. Anyway, I've got to finish off with this video. So a couple of customers have asked about warranties, especially when we put our adverts. We have comprehensive warranties. We have a couple of different companies that we deal with. We try and tick as many boxes as we possibly can, sort of air conditioning, suspension, electronic handbrakes, etc. Claim limit is the value of the car. We don't give you a £250 claim limit, but we can go through that with you at the time that you wanted to have a look at the car. So I wanted to thank you very much. Apologies again that I've babbled on. If you're interested in this car or anything else at Mopar Vehicles, please don't hesitate to give me a call, send me an email, text message, whatever you want to do, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Thank you again for your time. Bye bye.